Hey there, Fit Fam. Welcome to the only podcast where we're breaking the mold and rewriting the rules. I'm here to debunk the myths, spill the tea, and serve a hefty dose of reality. No matter where you're at in your journey, we've got something for everybody. So buckle up because we're about to unleash the basics in the most unapologetic way possible. From shedding pounds to embracing your inner badass, I'm here to remind you that skinny is so last season and the basics are anything but boring. So grab your favorite piece of protein and your water bottle and get ready to be empowered, entertained, and educated because being a basics bitch has never looked this good. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Don't Call Me Skinny. Excited to have you here today. You're going to notice that rarely do I ever not get out a Wednesday podcast on time. But this last couple weeks they've been hard. I'm just going to say that. They've been really hard. If I have a coughing fit, I apologize. If I sneeze, if I sniffle, I apologize. I'm doing the best that I can, trying to show up when I can, how I can. And so that's where I'm at right now. Monday's episode was great. If you didn't get a chance to listen to it, please go, listen to it. It's another episode of the Confidence Corner with Vicki, and we talk about confidence in your 40s and how it doesn't have to be shit just because you're welcome to your 40s. So I think it's a bunch of bullshit, and we talk about that, how it's bullshit. I also might have to drink sometimes periodically throughout this episode, so I apologize again. Fat Loss Basics group coaching is open. We start officially January 6th, but you can hop in today and start receiving support immediately. I'm still calling in 6 women, so I am not giving up. I am not quitting. I am not closing it. I am not doing anything differently. I'm going to keep talking about it. I'm going to keep sharing about it. I'm going to keep talking about how amazing it is. And you can decide whether you want to do things differently in 2025 or you want to just stay the same and stagnant and be mediocre. I mean, that's on you. Or you can literally hop in and slay the shit out of this. This will take you right up until, what is that called? Spring break. So if you're going somewhere like I am, this might be an opportunity for you to feel a little bit better in your skin, because I swear if I see posts like, oh, I just wish I would have lost a little fat before I went on my vacation, or I'm going on vacation in 3 days, I need to lose 22 pounds, I'm going to punch somebody in the fucking face, because you have an opportunity right now to hop the fuck in. So your choice. Today we're talking about Unpopular Truth's Health and Wellness Edition. I did this. Oh God, this is great. I did this. What's it called? I did this on my Instagram stories, and it was interesting. So people really enjoyed it. Some people must not have enjoyed it a lot because people were a little offended, but also I got a lot of good feedback on it. So I want to talk about it a little bit more here, and I want to elaborate on it. So let me pull it up really fast. Okay. All right. So we are going to talk about the very first one, which is this one. And again, it was, this is something that a lot of people currently feel very strongly about. And I'm unsure if you believe in this realm or not, but I'm going to say this tends to happen. I've talked a little bit about it with Make America Healthy Again, where we want to swing from one extreme to the other extreme constantly. And we are doing this with protein. Okay. We are doing this with protein. You need more than you think you do, but you consume less than you need to. Hopefully that makes sense. You need more than you think you do. Or I'm sorry, I messed that up. You need less than you think you do, but you need to consume more than you actually are. Okay. So I know that some people might disagree with this, but for general population purposes, you really only need to be consuming anywhere, I would say, depending on size, depending on height, depending on weight, depending on goals, depending on all these things, anywhere from around 80 to potentially 120 grams of protein a day. Some people are upward consuming 150, 170, 200, 230. And we do not need to consume this much protein. I like my clients to at least be a minimum of around 100 grams, right in there, plus or minus 10, depending again on size, depending again on goals, right? If you're in a fat loss phase, ideally you want to up that protein slightly because you want to make sure that you're not losing muscle. What's going to prevent you from losing muscle, becoming just a skinnier version of your fat self, essentially, is protein and strength training, right? If I would have lost 80 pounds and not strength trained, I would have just been a smaller version of my fat self, AKA skinny fat, which you don't want to be. Everybody's like, oh, I lost all this weight. Great. But with it came a lot of muscle. And now you look like a smaller version of what you used to look like. So you still have fat. You have no muscle tone. You don't have the quote unquote toned look that you're desiring because you didn't do the things that you needed to do to get it. That is where I would up protein. So I have some clients at 130 grams of protein right now because their goal is fat loss. What is that going to help with fat loss? It's going to help preserve muscle. They strength train, going to help preserve muscle. Okay. And it's also going to keep you satiated. So when we are in a calorie deficit, we want to stay full. That comes from protein. Okay. It takes the longest. It is the what we call like the most thermogenic macronutrient, meaning it takes the most energy for your body to process and do what it's supposed to do. Right. That's why we get really big. Like you eat like a muffin for breakfast and then you're hungry 22 minutes later, is because there's nothing there. It just goes in your bloodstream, spikes your fucking insulin, and then boom, now you're hungry again. It burns off very quickly. Carbs are used for energy, so they're burned very, very quickly. Protein there's a process for it. And so that is why it's super duper important to make sure that we are eating enough protein, but also we don't need to be eating 147,000 grams of it. Like, it's excessive. I'm just going to say it. It's excessive. All right. Fat loss. Myth number 2. Fat loss comes from nutrition, not training. We need to get it not twisted anymore. I'm so tired of people saying, I've been in the gym 4 days a week, 5 days a week, 7 days a week, 3 hours a day. Oh my God, and I'm still not losing weight. That is because your focus should be on your diet. Train for strength, diet for size, period. Train for shape, diet for size. I don't mean like go on a diet. I mean, your diet will determine your size, what you consume, okay? Muscle building is what happens in the gym. Fat loss is what happens in the kitchen. Number 1, it's a lot easier to fucking manipulate the calories going into your mouth than the calories that you're burning. Your fitness watch is inaccurate. All the shit that you fucking burn at Orange Theory Fitness is bullshit. Your F45 training, it's bullshit. It's not burning any more calories. Somebody literally today asked me for the gym, if I want to lose fat, would you suggest running or more like longer endurance walking? I said longer endurance walking. You're going to be able to elevate your heart rate. You're going to be able to sustain that elevation. When you're running, you're literally just burning in that moment and it shuts down. Done. Right? That being said, it's a lot easier to control the food that's going in your mouth. And we don't actually know how many calories you're burning. So it doesn't fucking matter anyway. Right? So you're using the gym to get strong. You're using the gym to shape your body. You are using the gym for those kinds of things and not for losing weight. If you've ever heard the phrase, you'll never out-train a bad diet, this is why. Myth number 3, training will not make women bulky like men. Ladies, please fucking stop. I was so excited today. There were quite a few, 5 or 6 of us ladies on the weight floor. Now, we were still very outnumbered, but I was very excited to see more than just 1 or 2 of us out there and everybody else in the fucking cardio machines and doing your little cardio class. But I will say this, most women never tap out on the muscle that they can build. So they're building potential. Okay. Most women can add typically 20 to 25 pounds of muscle. Most women never even get halfway there, let alone all the way there. Right. And just for comparison, men can build upwards of 35 to 40 pounds of additional muscle. Right. But this still takes years, even for men, it takes years. So unfortunately, ladies, right, building muscle is a lot harder than what we think it is or what we kind of need it to be. Actually, It would be a lot easier if we could build muscle easier, because that would actually help our metabolic health a lot more. Unfortunately, it takes a fuck ton of work. Proper progressive overload program, consistency, showing up, enough protein. All these things are going to determine how fast that we can. Then you have your genes, which are going to make a determination as well, right? But muscle's the fountain of youth. This is what's going to keep you young. It's going to keep your body moving. Like outside of your skin, like being like the main part of your organ, like muscle is like huge. We need to be building muscle. Okay. Number 4, you can still eat foods that you love and achieve fat loss. Okay. I did not lose 80 pounds by not eating cake, ice cream, having a drink now and then. Okay. Cookies, tacos, donuts, pasta, cake, all the things. I ate all of those things and still lost weight. It's just that I didn't eat it all the time or as much as I had been before. Okay. This is where I say you don't have to sacrifice everything, but you will have to sacrifice something. I'm not coming on here and going to say, eat chips, eat pizza and still lose 10 pounds. No, it's bullshit. You still have to put in work. Does it mean you have to give up every fucking thing that you love? No. Does it mean you have to have some kind of control and balance, #balance, and awareness and boundaries? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. You still have to have those things. So no, you don't have to give up everything, but you will have to give up something. But that doesn't mean you can't eat things that you still love and enjoy. Okay. Myth number 5, your hormones, gut and thyroid are mostly jacked up because of fad diets. Ladies, I talk about this often. I hurt people's feelings all the time around this, but I hate to say it. You have no fucking foundation of health. You have jumped from diet to diet. You've binged. You've overconsumed so much, undermoved your body for so long that you have fucked up every part of your body. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's the reality, right? Your thyroid, if you have a fucked up thyroid, there's somewhere down the line, there's a reason why. There's a reason why, and it's not your genetics, okay? Thyroid is autoimmune. So there's some kind of trauma that happened, something triggered it, whether it's excessive stress, whether it's something that traumatic happened in your life, an event, something along those lines, any kind of autoimmune, right? That's what happens. That's what happens. Okay. Then your gut is the same way. Your gut's fucked up because you don't feed it properly. You've starved it. You've put shit in it. You've put these probiotic greens in it that are supposed to fix everything and don't. You've taken Benefiber 100 times because you can't poop. Like all these things will fuck up your gut, right? And again, same thing with your hormones. Number 1, you cannot balance hormones. It's not a real thing. And that's going to be important. So you have to make sure that you are doing those things. Without that, you can't balance your hormones, but you can manage them. And that's one thing that people are not doing, is managing their hormones by building this foundation of health. Weird. That's what we fucking do in Fat Loss Basics, is build a foundation. You have not built a foundation. Your hormones, gut, and thyroid are fucked up because you have no foundation of health. Okay. Number 6, myth number 6, your lack of results is mainly from your lack of patience and consistency. I know this one might be a vagina kick, but this has to be said. Okay. I too was this way, a diet hopper, fad diet here and there and everywhere. And it feels really good. And if you didn't listen to Friday No Filter, I talked a lot about dopamine. It feels so good to say that we're going to do something. It feels so good to say and think that we're going to make a change. It feels so good to do these things. But the reality is it's too fucking restrictive. Typically you slash your calories to 1200. You again, cut out everything that you love about life and food. And then boom, you can't sustain what you've chose. So what happens? You quit. So you're not consistent. You're not patient. The scale goes up. You fucking quit, right? You start over every fucking Monday, every first of the month, every 2025, every beginning of the year, you start over and you're consistent at nothing, right? And your patience is 0. This has to change. Again, this is what we touch on Fat Loss Basics. Odd? I don't think so. But this is part of it, you guys. Your patience, your consistency, and the lack of them matter in this process. You have to be willing to get back up every single time you get knocked down and say, yep, let's go again. Okay, we're doing it again. Okay, let's go again. All right, not quitting again. Okay, you want to know the difference between 8 years ago and every other time before 8 years, 9 years, whatever it is at this point? I never quit. I never fucking quit, and I just kept showing up. That was it. That's the only fucking difference. Okay. Myth number 7, there's no quote unquote good time to start working for better health. Too many of you are waiting. Your fucking type A personalities. I'm too busy. It's too hard right now. There's too much going on. The holidays, blah, blah, blah. You're waiting for the perfect time. You think that you're adding another thing, another layer, another thing of busy onto this, right? But realizing that there's never a good time, and sometimes you just fucking have to get up, show up, and do it anyways, is fucking the answer. Okay? You have allowed your health to become an option. I did this a whole podcast on this. Your health isn't an option. Oh, if I have money. Oh, I don't have money for that, but let me go on my cruise. Oh, I don't have money for that, but I'm going to go into debt giving people Christmas presents. Oh, I don't have money for that, but I'm going to go do this thing over here instead. Well, okay. I think this is going to be a fucking problem. Okay? There is no good time. There is no fucking good time to fucking start. So just start. Number 8. Myth number 8. Well, I wouldn't call them myth, but unpopular truths is what I guess I should be saying. The process is hard, right? Can we just admit that this shit is fucking hard and difficult, and it takes time and energy and effort and patience? Can we just fucking admit that this is the case? This shit is hard. This shit is not easy. You don't just like wake up and like everything just comes to you, right? I've been very transparent in my hard right now. This is very hard for me. What am I focusing on? I am focusing on the basics. I am focusing on the things that I can do. And I'm not worried about the shit that I can't get done. It's all going to be what it's going to be. And what's going to happen is going to happen. I'm still going to drink my water. I'm still going to focus on my protein. I'm still going to make sure I'm moving my body. At the end of the day, those are the things that really matter the most to me. So that's what I'm focusing on. So that's what I need to focus on. Okay. But it's also why this process feels at times very overwhelming, because it's fucking hard. It feels overwhelming. Hard things will feel overwhelming. This is the reality, right? So when we break things down into smaller chunks, we focus on getting good at one thing at a time and knowing that it's okay that you're going to fuck it up. We are going to fucking make mistakes. I'm going to mess up. I'm going to do things that I shouldn't have done. I'm going to go places I shouldn't have gone. I'm going to say yes when I should have said no. And that's how you learn these skills. This is a skill set. I'm going to talk about this on Friday, but this is a skill set that you have to learn. Okay. So those are, I thought I had 10, but that's only 8. So these are 8 unpopular truths about the health and wellness space, about what people don't want to talk about, about what people don't do, about what people say aren't important, right? These are the things that I work with every motherfucking day with women, every single goddamn day, every fucking day. Today was check-in day. We talked about it. Every single one of them. And they're all in different areas. One, she's a grandma, right? I'm just going to give you I have a grandma that has her kids moving back in town, and she has grandkids living in her home, and her husband's sick, and she still has a job, and it's the holidays, and everything is hard and crazy and fucking difficult and overwhelming. Cool. What are we working on? Hey, let's just make sure we're drinking water and focusing on protein the best that we can, moving our body when we can. Hey, that sounds like a good idea. The problem is that most of you think that it's not enough. Most of you don't want to admit like that is enough. And that's a hard thing to say, that you do nothing because doing the basics don't seem like it's enough for you, when really it's the fucking thing that without it, you have nothing. And it's why you're in the fucking spot to begin with, is because you don't have a fucking foundation. You haven't built that. Again, fat loss basics. So these are my 8 unpopular truths about the health and wellness space so far. I'm sure I have many more. I thought I had 10, but I only have 8. And if you have questions on these, let me know. I'm going to go ahead and everything's in the show notes. And if you guys have questions, reach out. If you got something from this, or you're like, ooh, this one hurt my feelings a little bit, I'd love a review. If you could screenshot, share it on your socials, because this is how I get around. This is word of mouth. And thank you for those of you that just keep coming back to get, punched in the boob a little bit every week. And if you're new here and you're listening and you made it to the end of this, I really appreciate you showing up, and hope that you come back for some more. I hope you guys have a great hump day, and catch you on the next episode.